During my time at CCA, I have had the privilege to meet many different people and have a lot of different experiences. Two people that really helped define who I am are Mr. Long and Mr. Cahoon. Now, they each have very different teaching methods and have been received by their students in very different ways.
I would describe the way I teach is with correlating with the material that's given, an interactive method with the students as much as possible.
Good old Mr. Long. Good times.
I've enjoyed learning Spanish from him, and he has an interesting point of view about it because he's English, learning Spanish, and I can actually understand what he's saying.
Senor, he by far is my favorite.
Mr. Long was really funny, and Spanish class was kind of my have fun period, and everyone needs some of those.
Mr. Long is really cool because like I did pay attention in Spanish 1, but Spanish 2 I really goofed up in. And I failed Spanish 2 and we're still friends.
One reason I believe students like me is because they know exactly what to expect from me, and I usually don't deviate. For example, on homework quizzes, they know exactly when they're going to occur, and so there's a stability and you know exactly what to expect.
A question and answer method where I ask questions, and sometimes the students can answer the questions. Most of the time I end up answering the questions, and then we bridge from the question and answers to whatever discussion that the question leads to.
Mr. Cahoon is a very interesting teacher. I've learned from his class basically to teach myself.
Mr. Cahoon. What can I say about him? He has an interesting method of teaching.
Mr. Cahoon tortured me, and he thought it was hilarious. But I mean, he was a good teacher, I reckon.
Mr. Cahoon, he always seemed to be very smart. He every time you would go up to him and ask him a certain question, he definitely knew what the answer was, and if he didn't, he would definitely help you to find out what it was.
Someone said that, not going to mention any names, but someone said that he always has an answer to our questions, and that is very true, but they're not always the right answers, so no.
I think complexity is a big issue, subject matter is an issue, and then I tend to be at times a little inflexible, and they like flexibility. They like for it to be the way they said it, but the way they said it may not be accurate in extenuating applications. And so there are a lot of reasons why people don't like my classes.
Mr. Cahoon and Mr. Long have the greatest degree of intellect of any two people I've ever met in my life. Nah, but really, they're okay. They're cool. They super fly.
While at Cramerton, I've also had the opportunity to grow spiritually. Two particular instances I can think of are the trip to the wilds, when I was able to get my heart right, and also when Josh died, which was a very touching experience for me.
Before the Wild, Scott couldn't stand Jesse Hargett. At the end of it, he forgave her, like how bad he treated her.
Before the Wild, Scott hated Jesse, mostly because they were both really smart, and Scott wanted to be superior. And at the Wilds, I feel like Scott was really convicted about some things, especially that, because he told me that. And he apologized to her, which I thought was really cool and very gentlemanly of him. And now those two are inseparable, and they're in love.
It was enjoyable for me watching him just do the right thing, and really helped me knowing that it's okay to do the right thing.
As most of you know, Scott and I didn't get along very well when I first came to the school. Well, anyway, last year at the Wilds, Scott had a spiritual experience, and he asked me for forgiveness, and thankfully I had already forgiven him, and I know that I probably was right back at him. So we got forgiveness from each other, and we amended our differences, and now we're friends.
I didn't really know Josh very well. I only met him a couple times, but I do remember whenever he died, it was very surreal almost, like it didn't happen.
It at first was a shock. Like, it took time to set in.
I guess the way it impacted me was just to get to know people better than I had like tried to know people.
What I've learned through the years is that every trial, there's a blessing that's from it.
The first time I heard about Josh's death, I was so mad at God. And when the time of the funeral, I just finally broke down for once in my life, and I finally let the Lord into my life by my best friend, Scott Irvin.
One of the things that has affected me the most while I've been at Cramerton is my friends. And I was wondering just what they think of me, and maybe I'd say a little about what I think of them.
He's a great friend, and he always is there for you.
I think Scott is, first of all, one of the most dedicated people in the school that I've seen.
My opinion, smartest person in the class.
He is very intelligent, but he's very aware of it. And I hate him for it. But in a loving Christian way.
I have to say, Scott is smarter than me. Sadly, he is. I can't change the fact. Well, in fact, he's probably the smartest in the class, in my opinion.
He's a very smart young little lad. He's smarter than me, I believe.
He loves red and black. Those are his two favorite colors. And he's a pretty funny guy. Pretty funny looking guy. Funny acting guy. He's a funny guy.
Scott was this funny kid, but funny, different funny. And now Scott's just a cool person.
He is trustworthy, kind, obedient when he wants to. He's heartwarming, loving. He takes me places to eat.
To all my friends, I'd really like to say I appreciate you and all the times you've helped me when I've been in trouble. And just say I really love all you guys, and I wish you all the best for the future. I love you. And on a final note, I was just wondering what everyone thought was the funniest moment in our class's history.
By far, the funniest moment was the woodshed.
The woodshed.
It has to be the woodshed, definitely.
The woodshed.
The woodshed.
It's the funniest moment ever.
Oh, like.
Oh, okay.
Though, dang it.
Dang it. What was I going to say?
What was the question?
What was the question again?
It's shaking. I'm going to redo that.
Word to your mother.
Yeah.
Was a student and a person. To be honest.
I'll take a picture.
Well, we're not taking a picture. This is a video. It's streaming live to the internet.
Dude, are you serious?
Yep.
Sorry. There's a train. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. There's a train. Wait on it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Alright. I'm glad I got to know him. He's going to correct me on my grammar.
Jessica, I love you.
Just let it go.
Hey everybody, I love you.
He has made my time in Cramerton very enjoyable because I love him.
Cut!